of actually Miracle. Yeah, Miracle is picking it, so not a surprise at all there. And for a second I thought it was RRR, and I was like, whoa, you guys probably should take first pick. So this is going to be a map where you kind of take the early steps to the first 2 tributes to try to take a solid boss into Curse, or use the Curse to leverage a boss. There's a lot of different things we've seen Miracle do on this map. This is one of my favorite maps to play, watch Miracle on. They seem really experienced on the battleground, and they know a lot of the timings, so wouldn't be shocked to see Greymane come out of them, highly prioritized for the early cap rotation. Rhaegar as well, something that we might see out of them. So let's just wait and see, but like the map pick. For RR, though, the draft is going to be their starting point.
They have been really focusing hard on Stitches or Teamfight. We haven't really seen any of the macro, the big global with Haka or Falstad or Illidan, the Hunt coming out. I think Miracle picked this battleground to out macro from the very beginning. I think they are going towards that. Let's see the draft and how Miracle responds. Actually, a Vala ban from the beginning. Maybe they want them to bend the Genji and take a Nubarak or even Uther, depending on the team comp they want to take.
So, a lot of thought going into this one. It's going to be the Nubarak. I like it. So good for boss control too. You can actually dive in from unusual angles to take the bosses we saw in our previous series. You can go into the backside, knock up the members, and then win the team fight that way, especially if you have extra protection. Or you can flank. So many different things a Nubarak can do. I mean, he's a top-tier warrior. He's the top-tier warrior right now. One of my favorite warriors to play. I never thought we'd be living in a meta where a Nubarak was the S tier, but we finally gotten to that point, so.
It's something also amazing that he didn't really get any buff other than the spell armor a long time ago, the plus 20. And since then, Europe has always been using, I think that's also a reason, the reason why they were so good during the MSV, also the Stitches. They've been using those picks since last year, since when the
Forever,
hero came
basically,
out. Yes. And compared to that, Korea was not really the region that played Stitches and Nubarak. They just picked it up at the very end of phase number 1. So I think that was one of the biggest differences between the regions. But here comes Li Ming and Illidan again. Okay, Miracle is thinking that RRR, they couldn't really, I don't think they have any answers against our Dami's Illidan. So we can just use it once more and use the Hunt once more to do the macro. This is a bigger map too. We can get all the tributes, get the curse, have the early lead until the very end.
This leads me to think that RRR needs to grab Uther here, or at least ban him, as they will have the next ban.
I also agree, to have the target stun.
They need to make sure Illidan doesn't have Illidan doesn't have Uther again, because as amazing as the plays we saw from Dami were, there was no counterplay for RRR when the Divine Shield hit. And even if you try to pick off the Uther, he has the extra burst heals he can put on to the melee at the front. The protection we saw for Li Ming against those hooks coming in. I know they're definitely considering the Stitches pick, but it is going to be the Uther Greymane. I like this a lot more. You have a good pairing with Uther with the Greymane to give him that extra protection in the front lines, and you deny the Uther pick from Illidan. So really smart move here by RRR.
That's right, whenever Illidan comes in. And I want to see Arthas on MSG once more. I think with this better team comp, with Uther, with the stun lockup, whenever Illidan comes in, I think they have the burst damage with Greymane too now. Dami should be a little bit more scared because there is a target CC, and also maybe he can go around a little bit and go for the campings and all the macro instead this time.
Like the Tahaka ban, stop the extra pushing power, the macro play that we would have seen from RRR. Abathur for very similar reasons, but he's very powerful paired with the Illidan too. So kind of stop that split pushing power, and the Illidan just gets so strong when you have the Abathur. You get the Illidan clone and everything else. I mean, you guys have seen Abathur, I don't need to explain. So it's a ban we've seen on this map in Korea traditionally even since 2015, so no surprises.
Abathur with Illidan or any other diving in like Genji or even Zeratul roaming around makes it so strong, and especially on this map after it has been coming out all the time. And Deha got banned to take out the global ability. We know RRR can play the false stat. Maybe they would actually rather have them play false stat because they do have the last pick. They can still have Zeratul coming out to pressure false stat, and even if false stat does have the global, does have the gust.
Tyrael, will we see
With
Tass with
Tyrael,
this?
it's going to be even better.
We could still see Tassadar with this, but Rrr is such a miracle pick on this map. That's why I was saying going into the draft immediately when they picked the map. Rrr is so good for those early camps. The 2-minute timing where you get the Siege Giants, you can actually solo that. You have, if you take Wolf Run, you have the ability to rotate between and clear the waves, do some extra pressure on the lanes, and then come back to the team fights, to the tributes. You can also take Lightning Bond, which is incredibly good for Illidan, and it's good for Tyrael. And it's good for Rrr. He does a lot of extra damage in the fight himself, so... I mean, the...
Rrr also can dive in the Wolf form and do tons of damage. Rrr is a very strong support. Not as much as Karazim later on, but still, they will look for the kill, and Liming can just poke from the back whenever they get the kill. Liming can dive in together. This is the team comp they're looking for.
I like the draft so far for both teams. See how RRR wants to close this one out. Will they grab the Tassadar themselves to protect the Grey Mane? Or will they look for a secondary form of DPS? We're going to find out. Kael'thas, so second time we're going to be seeing this hero for EGG, and they have the Arthas. Yet again, the Howling Blasts were really good to deal with the Illidan last time. Arthas a very good response to the Tyrael. So I like the way they close this out. If the gravity lapses are as good today as they were yesterday from EGG, then you knock the Illidan up, you really nullify him there. Tychus will be the second form of damage with the Arthas coming out. They don't want to commit to the Tassadar. They don't want to go all in on the Illidan composition. I like the flexibility for both of these. Whose draft do you like better? Because I can't even pick. I like both of them a lot.
I like both, but considering MVP Miracle and Tychus' last pick just chunks down Anub'arak and also Arthas is very weak against the minigun. So I like Miracles a little more.
Gonna have to agree with you because of the map and how they like to play it. But we are going into game number 2. Miracle dominated game 1. Will they repeat that performance? Kong looks pretty upset. We'll see if RRR can turn this one around, bring us to a tied score. In blue, and his team RRR Oduk on the Grey Mane, MSG on Arthas, EGG on Kael'thas, Kong on Anub'arak, and of course Uther being played by Tekaluk.
And MVP Miracle, Judy on Tyrael, Dami on Illidan, Jaehyun on Rrr, Crazy Moving on Liming, and Sniper on Tychus.
Okay, so straight comfort picks for every member of Miracle. And also, this is the map they like to play. It is going to be the Lightning Bond, which we talked about earlier for the extra damage. I'm out at level 1. Power hungry for Liming, since there's nothing really to worry about for Force Armor. Just looking for more bonus in the fights for the extra damage to get those critical mass resets. Obviously, Force Armor can be helpful if you can hit the shots on the Anub'arak who's trying to dive on you, but with Dampen Magic even being the choice for him already, you just want to get the more damage. You want to accomplish more in the longer fights when you have those globes, and always minimize how many times you have to back for mana.
And also Anub'arak is a very good pick against Liming, reducing down all her spell powers, poking from the side. Anub'arak can tank a lot of the damage coming in.
Already as well, EGZ picking the same build as last time, the Mana Addicts for the extra barrier that you get eventually once you complete the quest.
Thank you.
So I like that safety. The second time we've seen it from her, this time against a very dive-heavy comp with the Illidan, so it can save you really well when the hunt comes in if you're kind of caught out of position.
And really, it's buying time for ETZ to actually take care of the wave instead. Uther wasn't really looking for the kill as ECZ was trying to just wave clear because they were losing in wave clear.
I do have to confirm this to everybody because people wonder why we call it EGG, because that's the pronunciation of the ID in Korean. Just put it that way into English characters, of course, which was originally a Korean ID, which is why we did pronounce her ID the way she would have it pronounced, even though it may be confusing, because EZZ basically sounds the same anyways. So hopefully that clears up confusion for you guys.
It's okay, we have the entire phase.
Her ID is not Ez, okay? Like, so I know it might look that way, but it's not.
Yep. Also, RRR is not the easiest one to pronounce either, and of course the camp is coming in with the Grey Main. This is the reason, one of the reasons why Grey Main pick is so good in Cursed Hollow, because you can go around the camp just like Illidan, actually a little quicker from what I've been experimenting too. So they will start the camp, and when the first tribute happens, they can make the faster, quicker rotations because they took the camp. Also, Miracle, of course, having the golems.
HGC caught here. That was scary. Sorry, I did my play-by-play thing for a second there. I went full play-by-play mode. We gotta talk about it. This actually is fine.
Actually, top. And RRR does have to take care of all the golems, the giants on the bottom. And tribute happening on the time. It's going to take a lot of time.
They didn't even clear those. Oh, looks like actually they did. At least in the minimap, it's like pretty low health. Judy's going to start the channel first. Ooh, nice dodge there by Oduk. That was a close call. Would have been a lot of damage. Another good route here for MSG. But unfortunately, the route was good, but the idea of the route itself was not, because it cost him his life. He committed in so heavily to get the route off, and he was just punished for it immediately. So yeah, good route in terms of accuracy, but obviously better off to not root on that one. The tribute still goes to Miracle, even though it was delayed for about 1 more second. Cocktail build coming out for Grey Main, as we'd have expected. This is not going to be the Honkono build we saw on this map earlier today, with the Wizen Duelist. Going to be the more safer poking build.
It doesn't have to be Cocktail plus First Bullet happening after. I think he will go for the throat, trying to get the kill, because Kel'Thas, of course, does a lot of damage with the Living Bomb, and also Flame does a lot of damage, but to get the kill, I think you need that finishing blow. So less likely we're going to see First Bullet coming out in game number 2.
Even with Sniper's sick dodge attempt there, the continual Howling Blast hitting coming out here of MSG. Kong going to use the Impale, and his Beetle is going to buy a lot of time here, but unfortunately this retreat path for EGD is not going to work out. Doesn't have the mana barrier just yet. Kong dives in to try to make this a 1-for-1. He ends up dying though. Definitely a suicidal mission he attempted there, and now going to be the second tribute going over to Miracle. They will be on Curse Point. They have the level advantage, pushing towards level 10 for Heroics. Just feels like dire straits for RRR, who can't find any foothold in this game so far.
Whenever they overstep a little bit, when they seem like they're not even making a mistake, but Miracle makes it seem like they made a mistake. They are really punishing hard for every mistake they make into a bigger one, 1+1. They're taking a kill and +1 when they try to come for the help. So they're really pressuring hard from the beginning, as they have the team come to actually pressure all in lane. Illidan going around. Dami is on fire today.
Well, this is going to be the fort that secures them 10 if they commit to it. They're just waiting for the next minion wave here, as MSG is just doing what he can to buy time. This is going to be 10 even without the fort, as they have soaking in all 3 lanes. Dami split pushing top, forcing Kong to go up there after respawning. They get the fort, they look for the cannon tower too, just prepping it for these minions. Gonna back away now. They've got 10. The tribute spawns close to the boss, so they could try to take the boss into the curse. And unfortunately, there's just not much that RRR could do about this. If they were in better position and there wasn't Dami in top, perhaps they could try to sneak the boss to try to make it a boss for a boss to weaken this curse coming out with the boss. But unfortunately, with Dami being there, and their lack of vision of this, they just couldn't do it for sure. They didn't have Heroics. And it's just, the cards are stacked against them at this point in time.
It's the perfect thing. He can soak up EXP and he can join the team fight, or whatever the rotational move, that next rotational move that MVP Miracle is going to make. He can join in just with the hunt. It's that easy. And he can make that rotation. It's pretty simple. And with this boss pushing now into the second wall, it's RRR has to be back, and the entire team is back now. Illidan's still pushing top now.
Kong gets the heals coming in. Just barely survives, but this is going to be an easy keep for Miracle, barring any control mistakes here, as the boss just wails away. No cannon tower, the sentry for the keep here to protect that keep. The pokes coming in, Li Ming and Tychus, and the boss isn't even at half health just yet. Illidan split pushing mid, Dami trying to make this 2 keeps for the curse. 20 seconds left on this. The top fort is also taking damage. They're finding so much value from just this first curse because they had the boss, because they had 10 first. And RRR isn't making any misplays here. They just do what they must. They have to defend. They soak for 10. And when the dust settles, they're down to keep. There's nothing more they could do. Now 4 levels temporarily behind, the level 13 talent advantage against them, and Miracle is just going to walk away and take boss. And because of the cleanup that was required for that last push, RR can't rotate fast enough to punish this. And they're going to get a bruiser cap. That's all they can afford to do.
These are the types of play you see coming out from a dominant team. Even Dami was going ahead of the fort, taking out an extra wave because in that way he can soak an extra wave and also waste his own wave in terms of RRR. When the curse is done, they would lose a lot more EXP. So they were soaking in every single EXP possible and making RRR lose the maximum amount of EXP. That's how you use the curse. Then 3 full levels apart now. I don't want to say the game's over, but this looks disastrous for RRR right now.
It's definitely disastrous. They're going to try to dive in here to use the CCs under Phoenix, but it's not going to be enough as the retreat is just too swift for Miracle. Now that they overextended outside the wall, MSG is going to be the target. Look how much damage Sniper's able to do with his minigun here. The boss will be taken out, but they're looking for more. Here comes the hunt onto MSG. The dive in from Dami. MSG's taken out. There's the reset. Sanctification not even required here. Oduk has Divine Shield, but it won't matter. This is going to be a dead keep, and perhaps this could even be game over with 2 down now. Miracle looks to take level 16. 2 talent tier advantage, full 4 levels. Before it was like 3.2, but it was 4 in numbers and values, but now it's straight up 4 level advantage.
Yeah, I misspoke before. It was 4, and I majored in math too.
Well, I mean, it was technically 4, you know, but in terms of EXP bars, it wasn't fully 4, but now it is.
Yeah, and also they could have core with Illidan, but not having the sanctification, I think that was what was holding them from. They have 4 levels apart. They can do whatever they want to by now, and they can also core whenever they want to. This is a fresh up start, 0-0 tributes. The Triple R still did not get a single tribute in this game. This looks almost too sad right now. I don't want to say the game's over, but Miracle is just out rotating so hard that Triple R is just not even having a chance to come back into this game right now.
There's not much they can do. Hope for a really good team fight. Unfortunately, that's going to have to be a talent tier down with lane pressure against them with the catapults. This is one way to make it happen. The party push. Kong comes in. Here's the Aldruins away from Judy. Close call there. Kong takes so much damage. Look at that minigun coming in. He has to burrow charge away. The splits here are really good against the living bombs coming out from EGZ on Kael'thas. They're just sieging up this final keep.
That's right. And meanwhile, Illidan is pushing the top. He can even go for the back door if he wants to. He does have the hunt for the escape too.
You can even, not even escape, but use the hunt to engage while attacking the core. You'd be like, all right, well now I'm just going to engage into the fight, sandwich them. Incendiary Elixir only just now completed at 1050. Yeah, and the push is just real. They just continue to poke here. There's no way RRR could take a fight 4 levels down like this. They have to take a defensive fight, and Miracle just isn't going to give it to them. So the core is now under attack from catapults. It's going to be triple lane pressure.
The taunt is real here as Sniper just drops his sprays.
Hunt comes in. They're going to go for Oduk. He's dead.
Gets a kill. That's the reset for leaving. Sanctification dropped perfectly from Judy. There's a dive in. Dami, that's a lot of damage though. Also getting some damage from the towers. MSG in the front line, getting some heals, but it seems like it's not enough.
Oh, the orb connects at maximum range there. MSG just trying to survive. Divine Shield will keep him alive, but it won't necessarily protect this core. Burrow Charge comes in. Jaehyun super low, has to retreat. Everyone is super low on the side of RRR. Ancestral connects. Kong barely survives. Tegaluk will not be so lucky. Judy gets the heal. The hunt comes in. The core is under attack from Siege Giants, Catapults, all the members of Miracle. They dive in. Down to 20% now. Looks like this might be a perfect game. And it is, just barely. Judy survives. MVP Miracle takes it in 12 minutes. 7 kills to 0. Our first perfect game of HGC Korea Phase 2.
That's crazy moving for you whenever he wins. He makes a big smile on his face, and that was a perfect game. That was a perfect game, and we can already tell that Judy has really adapted into the team. His hero play looks very crisp, and of course Triple R has a lot of work to do right now with the shot calling, because they had so little poke compared to MVP Miracle when they were sieged up against with all the camp and the minions pushing on top. They were really lost in what to do. The shot, I feel like the communication was really off at the end. They should have at least tried to do something instead of just waiting until the game was already over when they tried to do something.
I see what you're saying. It's one of those games where you're so far behind so early. Even if you're the shot caller, if you're Kong or EGG here and you're sitting in the booth, you're like, what can we do here? And you have to take a defensive fight. You have to party bush. You got to find this risk. And it's tough to find the right one. If you mess it up, you lose the game instantly. But if you don't do anything at all, like you said, you just lose the game slowly, which is kind of what happened there. They went for the one party bush. They couldn't make it happen. Good disengaged from Miracle. There were 3 or 4 moments where Miracle went in deep, and the fight looked like it was going against them, and they just barely were able to escape. Good disengages, perfect game. Things look rough for RRR right now, but guys, before we go to our third and potentially final game of the evening, we're going to take a short commercial break. We'll see you guys in just a few.